Hey, what's up guys? It's Cody with stillphotographyal.com. I hope you guys enjoyed that short little video we made for you. The stars of today's tutorial is Cranky right here and Sparky. I wanted to make a video showing you about depth of field, and so basically what we did for this video is we took a series of images. Everything stayed the same except for our aperture. So I'm just going to kind of go through the images and show you exactly what's going on. So for this first one, we shot at f/22 at ISO 400 at a 4-second exposure, and we shot at aperture priority, so we were going to let the camera determine the shutter speed for us, how long the image needed to expose for it to expose properly. So you see this first one, Cranky is nice and, well, I wouldn't say in focus, but you could definitely see him, and Sparky is nice and tack sharp. I think we focused somewhere about right there for Sparky. So if you see, we shot at f/22, so that's basically letting in hardly any light through your aperture blade. So right now at f/22, your aperture blades are really tiny and it's not letting a light in. That's exactly why the camera needed to expose for 4 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and go to our next one. For this one, we dropped the aperture down to f/16, and notice our shutter speed right here. It's basically cut in half. Once again, our ISO stays the same. So when we drop the aperture down from f/16, from f/22 to f/16, basically it cut our exposure time in half. So it dropped it from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. But what's going on here with the depth of field? So if you look, it's a subtle difference between the two from f/22 to f/16. But if you notice that Cranky is not nearly as sharp as he was, at f/22. So we'll go from f/22 to f/16, and he's definitely blowing out a little bit more. So we're going to drop it down now to f/11. And keep in mind, remember that our ISO is staying the same. The only thing that's changing is our shutter speed being determined by the camera because we're shooting in aperture priority and we're changing our aperture. So now you see going from f/16 to f/11 that Cranky is definitely starting to get a little blurred out. So we're going to stop it down again and show you a little more what's going on. So now we stopped it from f/11 to f/9. Once again, our ISO is exactly the same. We haven't touched it. By the way, we're shooting this on a Canon 50mm 1.8 lens, which is an awesome lens. We still, even to this day, we still love it. Highly recommend it for anybody beginning in photography. So we'll go ahead and go down again. Now we're at 7:1. So now you can notice that Cranky is really starting to disappear from the background. And Sparky is still nice and sharp. Okay, so we're going to stop it down again. So now we're at f/5.6, and Cranky is really disappearing from the scene. So what's kind of happening here? Notice our shutter speed is getting faster. Why is it getting faster? Because we're letting more light in, because our aperture blades are getting bigger. As you go to a different aperture, from f/22 being the smallest, letting the least light in, to 1.8 or 1.4, 1.2, something like that, it's going to be the widest. So it's going to let the most light in, but it's also blurring out our background. So we're going to go f/4.5. You see our shutter speed has increased again because we're letting more light in. And notice that Cranky is almost gone. Okay, notice Sparky is nice and sharp still, so we're going to keep going. There we go at 3.5. Now at 2.8, let this load. We're shooting raw, so it takes just a minute with that raw file. There it goes. So you see that Sparky is starting to fall off a little bit right here. So you see that our depth of field is getting really shallow. But if you notice right here, Sparky is still nice and sharp. At this point, pretty much Cranky is gone. He is ex-baby daddy, completely out of there. You can't see him at all. He is completely blurred out. Now we're going to stop it down to 1.8. Now, very shallow. There's very little in focus right here. Maybe about right there is in focus. It's still pretty soft, but it's nice and in focus right about there. And as you see, the back of Sparky is blown out pretty much, and Cranky is just absolutely gone. Notice since we stopped it from f/22 to 1.8. Watch your shutter speed right there. You went from a 4-second exposure, a 40th of a second. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it explained a lot for you. Feel free to ask us any or email us any questions. You can do that at stillphotographyal@gmail.com or just go to our contact page. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much, guys. Cody with stillphotographyal.com.